Hey cuties. Gotta love Courtney with a K.
Gotta. Hey, I'm Bill.
I'm Sonia.
We're reviewing season 4, episode 2 of Servants.
The name of this episode is Itch, but we're calling it Who Let the Bugs Out? Ooh, 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 ooh.
Hey, did y'all's Apple TV go out during the episode? Like in the beginning, ours did, and drove us nuts. And I guess it was all over the internet. A bunch of people's did. That was crazy. It's like it had bugs.
I forgot to mention last episode, the new intro.
How did we forget that?
I don't have no idea. Must have been so excited. But Leanne's on the roof and looks to me like she's holding the reborn doll. Looks to me like it's Scary Jerry.
Oh, see, I thought
Let us know what you think.
I thought it was Jericho. I'll have to look at it again. Hey, but new room. The roof, kind of.
Right. This episode was directed by Kitty Greene, written by Allysa Clark. I thought it was a cross between The Hand That Rocks the Cradle and, of course, Misery.
I definitely got Misery. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Sean, 100% compliant, does whatever Leanne wants. Very little pushback, right? Like he had the GQ shoot. He's like, no, I should stay with Dorothy. And she's like, no. You're going. He's okay. You know, like
totally
punked him, and he took it.
Yeah. Whereas Dorothy's bedridden with the trapeze bar,
and just what do you call it? Like button heads. She's defiant, right?
Mm-hmm.
She ain't compliant to nothing.
I guess so she's in the hospital bed because there used to be that really pretty padded headboard.
You like that so much.
I do, because I'm making one for the dollhouse, so a replica. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, the central theme in this one, kind of like Misery, is Leanne's telling Dorothy, no one's here to help you except me. Sean's busy. She's not letting him up. Julian's busy. She's not letting him up. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. So, ooh, geez. But Dorothy, you know what? I should feel sorry for her at this point, but I don't. She's so petty and nasty still, you know?
Right.
But even though we're Team Leanne, always kind of have been, we're starting to see like her controlling behavior is getting next level now. She's really becoming that cult leader type. Mm-hmm. I mean, even especially when she brings Jericho in to reward Dorothy, she stops and makes her take a couple bites of a sandwich before she gets her kid. Like, oh my gosh, that's really showing that kind of stuff.
Though it's easy to hate on Leanne right now, I think it is important to stress that it wasn't that long ago that Dorothy buried and tortured Leanne alive.
Yeah.
So let's not forget who Dorothy is. Yeah. Leanne has learned from the best.
The tables have turned.
And yet Dorothy is still planning on leaving with Jericho once she recovers.
And is dumb enough to say that in front of Leanne. Like, it's you and me, kiddo, against the world. And you know,
right?
Which prompts her to snatch him up. And, oh, my God.
What'd you think of Dorothy spitting on Leanne's shoes?
Oh, she spit the food out. Julian had made a shashuka, which is like a North African dish with tomatoes and you poach eggs. And I love it. Myself.
It's a recurring theme in Servant, tomatoes.
Yeah, well, it looks like blood on her shoes. And that's what made me think, maybe that's a little foreshadowing. I started thinking that maybe Leanne's going to start abusing her.
Oh, I
physically.
hope not. She got mad at Reverend Nancy for abusing her mom, so
well,
I'm hoping she doesn't.
Hypocrisy isn't no stranger to this show.
Did you know that when you spit toward someone, it can be considered a crime in some states?
Oh, yeah. I grew up in California. Like, it's a form of assault.
Oh,
it could be considered that,
I just thought it was so disrespectful. And I'm not sure who's bullying who.
Yeah. Bullying from the bedpan. That's like, gosh, the arrogance. Meanwhile, Julian, like, Sean's fully, like, compliant. Julian seems to be fully enchanted now, right? He's enchanted with Leanne. He's smelling her shirt in the closet. Like, that was creepy. And I mean, just weird. The only bright light we got from him, old Julian stuff, was at the end. That lady, one of the park people, was basically getting up in his face telling him, aren't you happy, like you get to be close to her and you get to see her works and all this stuff. Do you feel her power? And Julian says, it's not voodoo, it's hygiene. But so it was a good comment from him. But still.
Yeah. Well, Leanne did leave that pizza out on the table for hygiene in that last episode.
Slipping on the housework. And yet, Leanne wants to play house still.
And doctor. We have to be
Caretaker.
them now.
We have to be them now. That was really weird. She said to Juju, and like both the parents are out of commission, so we have to be them.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think that was weird because she's always been like reenacting how Dorothy and Sean are together.
Well, that makes sense. In last season, Dorothy said, well, you can have them. What does Dorothy mean? This annoyed me so much. What does Dorothy mean by it's the mother's job to get rid of the baby clothes? You took that from me. I've never heard that. Is that a back east thing? Like, what is she talking about?
I know a lot of times mothers will save an outfit or two to pass down to give to their daughter on.
But to get rid of the clothes?
Or like a baby shower or something. But Leanne apologized. Seems sincere to me.
I don't know about the sincerity of that apology. I think it was more like, get over this so we can pretend that everything's cool.
Yeah, maybe not. Right in the center of the quilt, she put the yellow onesie. And that's the yellow onesie that Jericho had dyed the day in the car.
Yeah.
So...
Well, as you might suspect, though, I mean, the story is about more than just the quilt that Leanne made. To Leanne, it's like it symbolizes family and how she wants to bind herself to the Turners.
Well, quilts, I mean, traditionally, I know African-American quilts were significant artistic pieces, both past and present history for Black Americans. And they had told stories on the quilts about slavery, segregation. And if you were looking at the quilt, it gave you a lesson about that history and also represented like beacon of hope. So those quilts were embedded with a kind of like code so that when you were reading it, they're like reading the shapes and the motifs that were sewn into the design. An enslaved person on the run could know the area's immediate dangers or even know where to head next. So I'm thinking maybe it's Leanne's way of trying to help Dorothy remember. Like a map.
It wasn't too subtle with the death shroud right in the middle.
Yes.
But what would she gain by it now?
I don't really think she gained much of anything because they're going to want her to leave, I believe.
I don't know, because like if Dorothy knew what everyone else knew, maybe she would fall in line like Sean has.
Maybe they want her to stay.
And then she'd be like, oh my gosh.
So they could be a family.
She's the only reason that Jericho's here, so she's our leader now. Maybe, yeah. But hey, Tobes! Toby, one of my favorites. Toby's real name is Tony Revolori. I think I got that right. Anyways, cool name. But this was one of my favorite Toby scenes in the whole thing because he stood up to bully Juju, who's always bullying him. He came out, what are you doing here? And he's just like, I'm here because Sean wants blah, blah, blah. What are you doing here? and Julian was like, I don't know. He can't really tell why. And then later on in the episode, his dad asked, does she make you happy? He's like, I don't know. So I think he's just under the spell. Anyway, but I was really proud of Toby for standing up to himself there. And he says something so profound in this episode. Well, Leanne's like lamenting that Dorothy's basically not reacting well to her. And he says, if I like to show people that I trust them. And that helps. So then Leanne goes and gives her phone back in a trustful gesture, which didn't work out.
She calls it Courtney. Courtney with a K shows up, played by Katie Lee Hill. And I thought it was so funny how Courtney squeezes and pushes her way through the door. And she sticks her foot in the door with her bedazzled heels. I thought it was hilarious. And she comes in and she calls...
Where's our warrior queen or warrior woman or something like that?
That's not the first time that someone has referred to Dorothy as a warrior, because Aunt Josephine referred to her as a warrior in a previous episode.
So odd. Other than being combative and nasty, like, why is Dorothy a warrior?
I'm not sure.
and all of a sudden, she's court now?
She's like her BFF.
Yeah. Dorothy's like, I don't know. After criticizing, right? She was kind of critical.
Right. They didn't even offer Leanne any. It looks like Courtney had brought some pastries from a real deli that's there in Philadelphia or Fiore. No, called I think Miel.
Oh, wow.
Something like that.
I bet it's the bomb, too, because Philly's a foodie town.
Okay, yeah, such good food there. So, but, something else for the bed bugs to eat.
I guess. Speaking of bed bugs, why bed bugs in particular? I think it's because they are literally blood-sucking parasites. And as much as I love Leanne, she's turning into a parasite that's feeding off this family right now.
Not only that, they're a bad omen. Some cultures believe that having bed bugs means that someone has put a curse on you.
Oh, and someone's put a curse on that. There's definitely a curse somewhere in here.
Well, luckily, I've never experienced bed bugs. Hope I never do.
Wash yourself.
I'm always scared, like hotels might have bed bugs. You always hear like these horror stories. But I know that it's difficult to get rid of bed bugs. Kind of like Leanne is difficult for Dorothy to get rid of.
That's funny. Well, you know what? And the bed bugs are a great theme because Leanne says it pretty much straight out to Juju in one scene. There wasn't a whole lot of symbolism there, right? It was pretty much straight out, word for word. Leanne's feeling like she's being taken for granted. She says, you, Sean, and Dorothy, no matter how much I give you, you're all so miserable still. And being taken for granted day to day feels like there are bugs under my skin, crawling under my skin. Mm-hmm. We've seen the whole thing, with Leanne. Her emotions cause things to happen. Now, it's been involuntary at this point. She's mad at Juju's seagull's attack, and she's kind of surprised. The bees, she was mad at those people, upset at them, and then the pigeons, and I think once the pigeons happened, she understood it. Hey, I can do this.
Yeah, seagulls.
Yeah. Oh, did I say pigeons attacking Juju? Yeah, I meant seagulls.
Well, they both attacked.
Right.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
But, those were involuntary. But the pigeons, I think she realized. When she got out of the car and started yelling,
yeah.
I think she realized she's making this happen now, right? Mm-hmm. So these bed bugs, did she manifest them on purpose? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now, I have another little theory here. Because Dorothy, laying in her bed, scratching, she's got these sores all over her, right? And we're assuming these are bed bug bites. I don't think so. Because I didn't see any bed bugs. There were so many bed bugs over everything. It was made your skin crawl. It was disgusting, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I was itching.
There was big piles on the chairs.
Big piles on the, oh my God. But when they lifted the thing, they're just all over. So I think Dorothy's sitting there. We would see some crawling on her or something, or she would see them. Mm-hmm. I think that's Leanne's will that's eating her up, directed at her. But everywhere else in the house and the neighborhood, it manifests in actual bed bugs.
Right.
Because
Leanne doesn't seem uncomfortable in that room with Dorothy.
She does not. And she didn't seem surprised when they looked out the window.
She sure didn't.
Right?
When they're looking out the window, they see everybody in those hazmat suits, which reminded me of Jericho again, the day that they went in to take Jericho out. You see people, walking out,
I think they're a little bit different suits.
You don't think they're the same suits?
I don't think they're the same, because those were like actual government employees with like hardcore hazmat suits. These are more like industrial, things that pesticide people would use. But I think it harkens back to it. I definitely thought of it when I saw them. I was like, oh, this reminds me of, of that too. So,
well, all these bed bugs and everything reminds me of the 10 plagues.
Yeah, we see a running theme from, different religions here. The Abrahamic religions like Christianity and, Islam and the Torah has things in it too, right? Judaism. We see a lot of these things. And there's a story in the book of Exodus about the 10 disasters that inflicted Egypt, right? Death of the firstborn is one of the plagues, and lice and gnats or bed bugs, right? Is another. Boils, like Sean's hand.
Right.
Locusts, crickets,
Kind of like
flies.
crickets. Yeah, that were like on the ham.
Yes, right?
That was rotting.
Thunderstorms. We've seen thunderstorms of hail and fire. I don't know about fire, maybe lightning, but the only thing we haven't seen yet is frogs.
Maybe next episode.
Maybe Sean will cook frog legs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sean hasn't cooked a lot he hasn't cooked anything yet, really, in this season.
That's only 2 episodes.
So, but Frank, their dad, Dorothy's dad shows up. Frank Pearce, played by Todd Waring. I love that he said, I, for one, will not be destroying my suit.
His Tom Ford suit, right? Those are expensive, aren't they?
You can expect to pay anywhere from $1,800 to $7,000 for a suit. Oh, my
gosh.
Hence is the reason Frank brings his own hazmat suits for all of them.
One thing I wanted to touch on is, and you guys tell me what you think. I think at this point, they would have started redeeming Dorothy's character by now. Like, making her more likable. And because even though we've all been on Leanne's side, we all start to see that Leanne's headed down the wrong road, right? She's becoming bad. And she's becoming controlling and manipulative and all this kind of stuff, right? You think you start making Dorothy to where we're on her side and we can see her suffering and that she's not so bad, but she's still awful. Yeah. She's super arrogant. She's ego-driven. She's very, just petty and ugh.
Yeah, I think we might be on the minority, though. I think a lot of people do feel sorry for Dorothy. But I just want her to know the truth. I don't know what's going to happen in this season, but I just want her to know what really happened, because it's time for Dorothy to face reality and really grieve. This whole family just needs to grieve.
That's what the whole show is about. That's the main theme, right? Is what happens when you get stuck in that process of grief and you're not able to complete the cycle. That's if there's one theme of Servant, it's got to be that, right? And she's stuck in a denial phase. She's not accepting anything. So their relationships are falling apart. Their lives are falling apart. The house literally is falling apart, which I think represents their whole life, And there's different stages of grief, right? So there's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. They're not linear too. You don't experience them all in a certain row. You can go back and forth and whatever, but you have to kind of experience them to get through it. And she's definitely stuck.
Yeah, she stopped at denial.
Right.
What stage do you think Sean stopped at?
Well, I think he's in the bargaining stage, but I think he's there artificially. Because I think he was probably farther along. He was more...
probably in the acceptance stage.
He probably was.
Before Leanne showed up.
Because he was supporting Dorothy, and he knew everything that happened. She comes along, and he's like, oh my gosh, she can make Jericho come back. So then he bounces back into the bargaining stage.
Yeah.
The only thing he didn't get to experience really was the anger. He started to in that one scene when they starting to fight at one point. I thought you'd be a better father, Sean. That one, he got all mad.
He's like, I never thought you would.
Yeah. So that was his anger moment. He didn't get to complete it.
That bargaining stage is kind of like magical thinking happens during that stage. Like when kids say, what if Grandpa could come back? Or they want to pray to God to see if they can have any type of communication with him. So
that's where Sean's at.
Some people seek out mediums.
That's how they get taken advantage of by those spiritualists and people that run the whole I can channel your dead relative to provide closure and so what I mean. Yeah.
See what the afterlife looks like. So it makes sense.
Fall for anything at that point.
Yeah, it makes sense. The next episode is called Seance.
Oh yeah, right.
We'll see.
Oh boy.
But let's talk about self-care and that lipstick that Leanne was putting on.
Forcibly putting on. So, it baffled me, that scene. I'm like, why would they put that in there? And I thought maybe it had something to do with like her mom making her put it on for the pageants or something, or Where do you think that came from?
I think, again, it came just from Leanne always copying and imitating Dorothy, like in season 1. Leanne is like putting on jewelry and Dorothy's jewelry. She's putting on Dorothy's red lipstick. So I'm thinking that she's like, Dorothy likes red lipstick. Let me put this red lipstick on her.
Let's go back to the way it used to be.
And, this will make her feel happy because she's pretty and she'll be nice to me. So that's what I'm thinking. But Dorothy is literally biting the hand that feeds her.
She is. She better. She made her cuss and hit the wall. Yeah. But that saying has a powerful message if you think about it. It's about showing gratitude to those who have helped you. But it's a warning because those people are quick to turn and change allegiance when it suits them.
Mm-hmm. Who does that remind you of? So, Leanne used to shave her uncle with a straight razor, apparently. Was that Uncle George? You think that uncle was Uncle George?
I think it was Uncle
George.
I think it was Uncle George, yeah.
That scene, that creepy scene with that razor blade when Dorothy wakes up. It reminds me of that scene in The Color Purple.
Oh, yeah. I think it's just pop culture now. People of a certain age, if you see a straight razor, you think of Color Purple. I thought of that immediately.
Oh, and oh no, Dorothy didn't throw her bedpan of pee all over Leanne. No, she didn't. Disgusting. I think Leanne's being really patient with Dorothy.
I think she is too. I'm so surprised Leanne didn't hit her. I thought for sure she was going to hit her. Like cult leaders do physically abuse their subjects, and I thought this was going to be, the point where she does. She does humiliate her, though. She grabs her, roughly rips her clothes off, strips her naked, and, says, I'm always having to clean up after you, and kind of leaves her laying there whining.
Yeah. Again, Leanne, she took a page out of Dorothy's book about an intimidation.
Yeah, she sure did.
So kind of reminded me of when Dorothy was cooking those pancakes for her when she was torturing her.
Oh, when Leanne was the prisoner?
Yes. And she was holding that knife in her hands.
Right, all crazy.
But speaking of urine, have you heard of urine therapy or urotherapy or an alternative medicine called Shibambu?
Shibambu? No, I haven't heard of that.
It's an alternative medicine where it's the application of human urine for medicinal or cosmetic purposes.
Oh my God.
Including drinking of one's own urine and massaging
That's disgusting.
it into your skin or your gums.
People are crazy. People are crazy.
With your own urine.
No,
so
no, I haven't. No, thank you.
Skin.
Help it what? Help it stink?
She's got nice skin, but I don't care how soft it would make my skin. There's just no way.
No way.
I'm putting urine on it.
Well, Dorothy does come straight out and says to Leanne that she's evil.
You know what's evil?
What?
Throwing pee on somebody is evil. What happened to Dorothy saying, if my baby trusts her, so do I.
If my baby trusts her, so do I.
That leads us to this right here. Whether y'all like it or not, you got to admit, Dorothy is a bad parent. She's a bad mom. How do I say that besides her neglecting and killing her baby? She just doesn't care what's going on with Jericho. She's calling for him, but it's just control. She doesn't care about him necessarily. She just wants to be in control, and she's mad because she's not in control. Look, if I was afraid that someone was actually evil and they were taking care of my child, I'd be trying everything I could do to not set them off, and to rectify the situation and please make sure my child was safe.
Exactly.
Dorothy doesn't care. She just wants to one-up Leanne.
Yeah, I'd be so worried about my child's physical welfare with this person I think is evil.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't be acting like a jerk, because how she's acting is not in the best interest of Jericho.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
not. And think about it too, guys. Leanne hasn't taken anything away from Dorothy. She's given her back Jericho. We just need Dorothy to wake up. Anyway, Uncle George shows up in his white suit, his dirty white suit. And it somehow doesn't seem that dirty. But he drops to his knees and he's praying in another language. This is the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. Abun debua shemaya nes kadashmach tete malkutach nebosevino chakana debua shemaya barha hovla nachma sunkanan yaumana washbuklen kaube. So the language he was speaking in Hey, all right. You got it. He's been saying that the house is rotting. This is only the beginning. Remember that? Can you smell the rot? That he kind of insinuated that was going to go past the house and grow bigger than that. And we see it here. When he walks by, he's like, how big is this to the bug person? And he's like, oh, it's like 15, 20 houses, the whole neighborhood, man.
Right.
And we see the crack. The crack goes right into the street, right? Which, by the way, right at that point, when we were there filming the location, I actually busted my butt and fell off the curb right there.
Oh, Bill. What happened? You okay? Come on, get up.
I'm good. I got it. Oh.
I'm just laughing because he didn't get hurt.
That was okay. This is my pride a little bit.
We're introduced to two new characters here, the live-in nurse's aide.
Right.
And they're played by Dylan and Barbara Kingsley. And I guess we mentioned that earlier. That's who Courtney and Dorothy called.
Bev and Bobby, right? Well, do you think that Bev and Bobby are nurses are they plain nurses, but they're from the Church of the Lesser Saints?
Initially I did, but I'm just thinking, what are the chances that
maybe just wanted to
they're
think
gonna?
that, right?
Yeah, I just want to think that, but I don't think so. Because what are the chances that Courtney and them are gonna call, and they just happen to get somebody from Church of Lesser Saints?
Unless they're monitoring their calls and stuff, and the house and what's going on.
I'm curious to see what room they're going to be staying in, though. So will we be seeing some new rooms? Maybe Sean's man cave.
She's got a man cave?
Yeah, the first episode when Dorothy was giving Leanne the tour, she's like, and this is Sean's man cave. So I don't know if we've ever seen Sean's man cave.
I thought she meant either the basement or the kitchen or something because he's a chef.
No, because she shows him the kitchen, but I don't.
Okay, well, cool.
See.
Maybe we'll get to see something else. But Dorothy's so horribly arrogant here. She thinks she has the upper hand, which is all she cares about instead of her baby. And she says very haughty acting, you're not going to win this battle, Leanne. Like, oh, so petty. God.
Leanne could take that little 4 foot.
She's like, she could take care of both of them little ladies. Yeah. And she's like, I'm trying not to get angry,
Oh my gosh. So interesting episode. I enjoyed it. I don't think there was a lot of big revelations.
No,
but
I don't, the writing, I don't want to call it like shallow, but I think it was pretty surface level stuff. Everything as it seemed to be. We did get some background on Toby, which is cool. He talked about his abuela and her making a mole and stuff, and that was pretty cool to see a little more.
Always happy to see George is back.
Yeah, so, of course.
Maybe he'll finish what he started with the ritual.
Yeah, maybe he won't hold back now.
Yeah. Speaking of George, we're gonna give our George rating. So
yes. So I'm gonna give it 3. I'll give it 3 out of 5 Georges.
Okay, I'm gonna give it 3.5.
Okay, so that's 3 1/4 Georges for us, right?
So the episodes are getting better.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll keep going. But hey, guys, also I'm really excited to announce this. We are running a contest, and it's our first one. We're going to be giving away one Uncle George magnet, one Uncle George pin, and one Uncle George Christmas tree ornament. Yes. I'm
also selling them, but nobody's buying them, so we're...
Well, some people are, but not all.
So figure give back, because I don't need that many Uncle George ornaments.
But you can go on there and buy them if you want them. They're really cute.
Yeah. But what do you need to do to enter this contest? 2 easy steps. 1, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. And 2, comment below on the video like you always do.
Yeah. Yeah, this contest is going to run from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 22nd, 2023, and will close at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 27th, 2023, and we'll be announcing the winner at 9:01 p.m. Okay? Perfect. We'll be announcing the winner directly in the comments of this video. We'll update the description of the video, and the winner and that person has a week to contact us. Okay? If you don't contact us within a week, unfortunately, you're disqualified, and we'll have to move on to somebody else. But we're going to have to, we'll have to choose another person there. But because we can't reach out to you, you're going to have to keep an eye out on the comments and reach back out to us when we select you.
This contest is not sponsored by YouTube in any way, shape, or form. We're solely responsible for running it. We're solely responsible for selecting the winner and making sure the prize gets to the winner.
Yeah, so she's good at that stuff, so she'll ship it out to you right away.
Yeah. If you want to review any of the contest rules that we've just run through, including how to enter, what you can win, and any of those legal mumbo-jumbo details, check in the description below. Everything is captured in there. So, well, guys, that wraps up this video. We're excited to be running a giveaway.
Contest giveaway, whatever.
And give back to you. And we can't wait to announce the winners next week, a week from now. And we can't wait for next season, episode 3.
Seance.
All
right. Bye.
Bye.
Nectada